Hey guys, just going to go through with you now how the results of the test went to picture the camera frame. It's going to be as detailed as possible. I'm going to give you the details of each one, and then you can judge for yourself based on depth of field, composition, quality of image, flicker of the flame. So this first one that you can see is set with a composition flat on, so the flame isn't fully visible. There is a brick wall behind it that is not visible. Its ISO is 1600, f-stop 5, and exposure time is 1/640th of a second. This next candle, slightly brighter, but as you can see, still depth of field is quite poor. We've got a same angle on there. I'm just bringing up the details. So we've got this ISO 1600, f-stop 5, and exposure time 1/320th of a second. Picture number 3, we've got an ISO of 250, f-stop 22, and an exposure time of 1.3 seconds. If you can see there's a slightly improved depth of field at the back of the camera. The wall is not visible. This next one is obviously quite a lot brighter. There's a little bit of low visibility of the wall. Depth of field is quite good, and only thing is it's probably a little bit on the bright side, the candle. But this is looking at ISO 100, f-stop 22 with a 13-second exposure. I'm now going to change the angle slightly of the camera, and we're going to look at the depth of field, flame quality. So this next one that you can see here, it's obviously, I quite like the composition. I like the layout of the wax. I like the texture that it's presenting. This is a 1/8 of a second with an ISO 100 and an f-stop 5.6. So that's not a bad one, but as you can see here, there is that little bit of blur here and slight in the flame, whereas it's captured this area very well. The next one you can see is darker. We've got an f-stop 22, ISO 1600, and it's shot at 1/40th of a second. So you can see right through the depth of field at the back, but it is a little bit on the dark side. Good flame quality. Now we're looking at a ISO 1250, f-stop 22, and 1/20th of a second. Again, no wall visible, reasonable flame, little bit of a light flicker. Wax candle looks pretty good. Now we've gone one, this looks a bit like molten lava. So this is done at 60-second exposure time, f22, with an ISO of 100. So, obviously, this is not ideal for a candle, and is not truly capturing what it is. But from a thermal imaging, or you want to use the light for another reason, then it's, there's opportunity with it. The redness you could use as a glow in the background on an image. Next one, we've got this looking at a f-stop 22, ISO 100 with a 15-second exposure time. So I'm not overly keen with the way the candle looks at the front here. Back's not too bad. Flame's got some nice light reflection, but flame not fully visible. And this, to me, looks a lot better. So you've got, it's still on a black background, there's no wall visibility, but you've got f-stop 22, 1.6 second exposure time, ISO 100. You've got good flame, light flicker at the top. You've got really clear candle aspect to it. Very, very clean, crisp image. It's just a little bit darker, this one. We're looking at a slightly quicker shutter speed of 1/13th of a second, still f-stop 22, ISO 800, you can see the noise creeping in at the higher ISO. So this is obviously quite a dark image now. F-stop 22 still. ISO 1600 and exposure time 1/100th of a second. And can we go darker still? Yes, we can. So we're looking at ISO 1600 f-stop 22, exposure time 1/250th of a second. And then we're going to just bring this back up now to a different, so you can see here the flames in focus, but very, very, very shallow depth of field. And this is the other end of it. So we've got our f-stop at 3.5, ISO 400, 1/250th of a second. Again, flame looks good, but the candle is very shallow depth of field. So ISO 1000, f-stop 3.5, exposure time 1/800th of a second. And lastly, we've got this, a darker image, ISO 16, f3.5, shutter speed 1/2000th of a second. So dark image, shallow focus. So I would say my favorite image is sitting around here. You've got a good depth of field, you capture the wax well, you capture the flame well, and a little bit of digital noise, that could be easily cleaned up with a little bit of work. This one, less so digital noise, good depth of field, nice flame, and obviously way too bright. So I'll leave it up to you guys. For me personally, I'm going to be looking around the with the longer exposure around 1.6 seconds, f22, ISO 100. It's giving me the depth of field that I require, while also not reducing the overall quality of the image. And these will all be available, well, the better ones will be available for download on publicdomainphotography.com. I'll see you there. Remember, upload 10 of your best images, share with the world, and hopefully this will help you a little bit on taking a picture of the candle, capturing the depth of field. Thanks, bye.